Looking forward with Ryan Hughes.
Ryan Hughes.
It's up to Ryno to answer this challenge.
Your leader, Ryan Hughes, 105. Hughes on the inside. Hughes on the inside, though, trying to get a run at
Ryan
him.
Hughes has got a problem with the bike. He's trying to push it to
If anybody wants to call, anybody here want to call, you can call 866-492-4449. And you can call me and ask a question because I'm not going to be able to answer questions on this
On the Instagram.
on Instagram until we take a break. Okay, so you guys got to just hang in with me. All right.
Well, you're back. I mean, you're back. I mean, you had a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, well, I went to Hawaii, man. I had to take a little break. I went to go to the, I went, it's just the way I did. I went to the mountains to see my son.
Okay.
Lived by a river for a week and got into the mountains and then all that, and it was great. Then came back to my place, more a little bit desert, right, deserty, and then took off to the islands.
Okay.
Got a little, island fever there.
Little island fever.
Little island fever.
Okay. How did you like Hawaii?
I love Hawaii. I've gone many times. I love Hawaii. It's laid back. It's kind of like the wild, wild west of. It's pretty raw.
Is there any motocross in Hawaii?
Yeah, there's motocross tracks on every island, and and so we went there, and I did put a school together on Oahu.
Okay.
So we flew over. Myself and Janelle flew over to Oahu, over to the North Shore, and the guys over there took care of me. We went on a trail ride. When we got there, the next day woke up, did a little school, and then got back on the plane and flew back to the Big Island and staying outside of Hilo.
Okay.
So more kind of jungly out there, and no, it's good. It's good to get away. You need a chance in your life to reboot. Get away from all the shit. Everything that's coming to you, all this entertainment, all this information, all this chaos, all this confusion. And the manipulation that's going on out there. This idea that I have to be this and got to be that and got to look like that and got to have that. It's life is overwhelming right now. It's absolute overwhelming, and it's just sucking us dry and not giving us anything back.
Okay.
But we just keep chasing it, never try to change it and ask why we feel so bad, look so bad, and everything is so bad. What do you do when your phone and your computer and everything's kind of acting up? You take time, you reboot it, you give it some time, and then you turn it back on, right?
Yep.
Well, what about us? Why don't we ever do that? Why don't we ever do that? And everybody has to go on a vacation that's so far away or so, stressful that you come home more tired. And so I like to go places and do absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to go run? No. Do you want to go? No. I came here to get away from
to relax,
to get away from my day-to-day stuff. I came here to get away from my have tos, got tos, need tos. I'm just going to do what I want to, and that's the way I do it when I go away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Hawaii was a good thing for you then.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I make everything good. Not by that. Just it's like, you're home where you go. And that's I have that gift of being home where I am. I don't have to bring my routine. I don't have to bring all my bullshit from home. I got to wake up at this time. I got to eat this, and I got to make sure I do all this training. No.
Yeah.
I wake up when I fucking wake up. I'll eat. I still eat good. I don't actually. That's one thing I never change. I might have a little more tequila.
Okay.
But
a little more cocktail.
Yeah. But the training wise, I put that on holds and maybe do some different type of training.
Okay, that's very fair.
Some more, yeah.
Well,
some more
while you were
bedroom
gone,
training. Yeah.
While you were gone.
Yeah. Okay. What happened? Did something happen? The world kept going around.
The world kept going around.
No way.
Yeah, I'm not,
Holy shit.
Not kidding you.
Yeah. Wow. I thought it just stayed still because I thought it stayed still.
So an old buddy of yours, a guy who used to train with you, Mr. Adam Cincerillo.
Yeah.
He's going to be the Grand Marshal for Loretta Lynn's.
Yeah.
And he rode a stock 250 as the Grand Marshal. And it was kind of funny that being in that situation, always riding a non-stock bike all the time. I wanted to get your thoughts on what is going through Adam's head as he's on this stock 250F.
Well, one thing, you're definitely going to notice the difference from, the factory bikes. But the other thing, he's being a Grand Marshal, he's riding slow.
Okay.
You're riding slow. So, yeah, the suspension, the engine, everything's going to feel so much different. But you're riding slow, so it's not like you're going to be oh, my God, I can't go as fast as I want, or these guys are catching me, or these guys are going to pass me. No, it's just, so there's really nothing there except him just being Adam and doing what he's supposed to do, and that's to keep his name going and get into different avenues and arenas and find a way for him to kind of thrive and keep just keep that interest going, because that's the biggest thing is once you say that you're done racing, in the beginning it's cool, I don't have that pressure, I don't have to be that guy, I don't have to live up to anything, but then after a while it's like, well, who am I? Because you created this energy for so long, this energy of this persona, this person, this this person that wakes up every morning, has something that challenges him, something that motivates him, something that rewards him, something that he's trying to be better at, something that's challenging all the time. And when that's gone, it's almost like, whoa, this is what everybody is excited about. Yeah. This is life. So that's what's kind of hard. So the biggest thing is when you retire is to make sure that you get yourself really busy and find something that's going to keep you inspired and kind of keep that name going, because once you step away and people stop seeing you, they're going to stop talking about you. And they stop talking about you, then you're forgotten. You know what I mean? Okay. And so some people are okay with that, but a lot of people aren't good with that when they've been known and been looked up to, their whole life. Right?
Yeah, I'm thinking like a guy like Adam, especially because he likes to be in the media. He likes to be in the spotlight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he likes to, but he's good at it.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. One person that likes to, but isn't really good at it. Like there's some people that do announcing that are like that.
There are people like that. Yeah.
We won't mention names, but Adam, he's good at it, man. He has a magic tongue, kind of. I mean, his words are very intelligent.
Yep.
He's a deep thinker. You know what I mean? He has a good personality, and I think he has a bright future somewhere in the sport. Because a lot of people still like to follow the circus, like to still follow the crowd, and that's why I never really got into any media things or this or that, because I just don't care to go to every race and follow the circus and be in that crowd. I like my own little world.
No. Tell Adam he can have my job. Yeah, my job. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be the one leaving. That's cool.
Yeah.
Just passing.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Nice. So while that was going on, he became the Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard this. Maybe you've seen something in the social media about this. But Ken Roczen's going to be riding a 250. Coming up here.
You guys I saw something that what's Ken up to, and I just flipped by whatever.
Yep.
But someone said that he mentioned here on my live feed that he's riding a 250F class. I said, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Again, and I applaud him because he's doing something different. He's stepping out of the box. He's being creative. He's not worried about his he's not worried about his reputation, his ego. If he gets beat, if he gets smoked, whatever. He's having fun, and this is what he should do at this point in his career. Is have more fun. You know what I mean? Instead of just always result. There's a time where you got to say, hey, yes, I want to win. I want to do good, but I'm kind of getting a little bit older. I'm kind of losing that will to put it on the edge. So where can I still have fun? And then when I'm having fun, I'm actually creating more buzz. I'm getting more press than I would if I rode the 450 and got 5th.
Yeah.
Right? Or 6th. He wouldn't get that much press. But if he goes to 250F, there's going to be so much talk about it that he's getting double the press. So I think that's pretty smart in my book.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So with that being said, him making that move, I also saw, Carson Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carson Brown is probably one of my favorite mini bike guys.
Yeah.
How much time have you ever ridden on the little bikes?
I only rode probably 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, and I started in 9 to 11 beginner, made it to 80 intermediate in a year, and then I got on a 125. When I was 13, and then it was done.
What would you think about a pro rider like Carson Brown riding a YZ65? Why not? Why not on YouTube? Why not on something that you're gonna get pressed for? Why not on something you're on a platform you're entertaining people on? You know what I mean? Again, it's different if it's like, hey, Carson Brown's riding,
Loretta Lynn's on a 65 and racing against these kids, I'd be like, well, no, that's not cool. But if you have a platform like YouTube and this and that your job is to entertain people, well, then 100% you should do things like that to entertain them, right?
Well, I just think about the last time he did something that was that cool. He was riding a race on an RM 85 against Ken Roczen.
Yeah, they did a little battle thing together.
A little battle thing. I thought that was
awesome. That's cool. It's like that's what the sport needs. They need things like that, and it got a lot of press, and it was fun for people to watch. And I applaud all those things. Because that's what I was saying is motocross is the most creative sport, and the motorcycle is the most creative invention that's ever been invented in mankind. You can do so much on it.
Yeah,
so much on it, and so I applaud all that stuff. You gotta think outside the box. You can't just be, sitting there with handcuffs on, doing the same thing over and over and over and over. That gets very stale. And that's why, when someone says you haven't been paying attention much, well, it's because the sport is so boring on the inside that there's nothing to pay attention to. You want me to talk? You want me? Am I listening to Sexton, or am I listening to Cooper Webb, or am I listening to Jed, or am I listening? Who am I listening to? Do an interview or talk. They all talk and do interviews the same, right?
Yeah.
Nobody has this persona. Nobody has this uniqueness in them, right? It's all gone. So that side of the sport I don't pay attention to at all. But every race I watch, and I watch the technique and the approach and all these things that these guys are doing, and I pick them apart. And it's only from my own head, but that's what I enjoy motocross, is seeing how people are riding and seeing the approach to it and this and that. Not any personality whatsoever. I mean,
it's one of those sports that once it gets in your blood, though, you can't get it out. So it's always in you.
Yeah, I mean, there comes a point. I've done it for 40 years just obsessively, so I don't find myself so involved in it anymore. It's almost sometimes too loud.
Okay.
Yeah, so my company, Ryno Power, we sponsor a lot of stuff, know. So Loretta Lynn's was happening this week, but we had a big triathlon down in San Diego.
Okay.
And so my partner went to Loretta's and I went to the triathlon.
Okay.
And I'm like, I go, this is kind of cool. There's no noise.
No noise.
There's no dust.
Nope.
There's no it's pavement. There's no dirt.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Everybody there is excited. Everybody there is happy. Everybody there is just giving all they have. There's not really ego. There's not really I guess fear of getting hurt.
Yep.
There's no parents there that are on their last dollar. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a whole different energy and a whole different vibe, and it was really cool to be around something different like that than just the same old. Like, I just don't know how like a Roger DeCoster and stuff like goes to the races still every single race. It's like it almost has to be like, I don't know. There has to be some ego thing or something.
True.
I don't know. It's a weird thing to me. It's like, you got to experience more in life than just the one thing. It's life is so diverse. You know what I mean? And if you don't ever tap into the diversity of life, then you're never really going to, you're never going to evolve yourself or explore the unknown parts of life.
If people want to talk to you tonight, what is the number that they can reach you at?
Well, they can reach me at 866-492-4449 on Big 49 Radio. You can get that on, on iHeartRadio.
Okay.
Yeah.
iHeart, or you can go to the Big 49 website.
Or Big 49 website, one of the two.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, guess what? We have just cleared the first 15-minute moto.
Right. Yep.
And so we're going to jump out. We're going to hit a song.
Yep.
I'm going to play Aerosmith.
Ooh, little Aerosmith. Everybody likes little Aerosmith, do you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is everybody saying Aerosmith okay? Anthony?
Ryan, you are my dad. Maybe. I don't know.
You never know.
You never know in my world.
All right, I'm going to
But
jump
I don't
out,
think so.
hit this Aerosmith song, and we will be back after Aerosmith.
All right, cool. I'm back and in charge. Yep.
We're back on the radio.
Yeah, Big 49.
Live.
Ryan Hughes. Looking ahead.
Looking ahead.
All right, what are we looking at?
So, back to the news and what's been going on since you've been gone. So I did hear a little rumor, speaking of Ken Roczen earlier, that he may be going to Ducati. Now, we all know these moves don't happen until October, typically. But it was in the old social media floating around, and a lot of people have been grumbling around about it.
Yeah, fire's out.
Yeah, and they've been talking about Ken going there, and obviously you got Antonio Caroli, who seems to be very happy with the platform. So I wanted to get a little bit of thoughts on you on Ducati.
I mean, one thing, the Ducati motorcycle is probably one of the sexiest motorcycles I've seen.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good looking motorcycle.
They make a beautiful bike.
If I was I don't know, what would you say? Like how you can't say gay, so it's like. I mean, you can, but I don't care about that. But what I'm saying is, like, if
you were into motorcycles,
if you're turned on by motorcycles,
if that was your thing,
that
would be the one you would go out with.
I'd be in trouble.
Okay, I will say they make a sexy motorcycle.
Do they? I mean, their street bike, the Moto GP bike.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just like a Ferrari. You know what I mean? It's iconic that way. So it's cool that these companies are coming out, and I applauded Ducati for coming out.
Triumph.
And making a good motorcycle like this.
Yeah.
And especially having a 9-time world champion develop it and all that, it's going to be a good bike. And then plus again, their technology, their intelligence on building machine, building engine, building that, you can't deny it. So would Ken Roczen be a perfect fit for it? 100%, because it's a European-based motorcycle. Ken Roczen, a little bit more towards the end of his career, but has a big name. And also willing to maybe not get the results, to develop this new bike. And then I guarantee there's some good muchachas in that contract. But
of course,
I think it's good because also he has a lot of experience, so he's going to be able to develop that bike better than just getting some young kid.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best way to go is with an older rider with the experience of having to develop this motorcycle, and then the following year, go with the younger kid to win on the motorcycle.
Got it. I wanted to get your take on that because, out of everything that you said earlier about everything starting to look the same, feel the same, act the same, and as you know, with me, I'm a fan of the really old bikes. I like the vintage early 80s into the 90s.
Old boy.
I like
old boy.
But for the same reasons that you like Ducati, I think that the old motorcycles, when they were parked, looked fast.
Yeah.
They made them sexy. They made them pretty. They were art pieces in a lot of respects. And there was a little bit of a crazy thought in their head when they were like, oh, well, let's try this. And nobody had ever done it before because they didn't have computer modeling.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you saw more one-off stuff.
Yeah.
You saw more handmade stuff. I mean, even in my day, the pipes were handmade. Some of the different parts were handmade, and so that's what made it kind of sexy. Of course, I think that's one of the sexiest bikes ever was the Works Honda back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful bike back then, and so... all the bikes kind of look a little bit the same, and they are very, technically sound, of course.
Yeah.
But just back in that day, there was more kind of inventive, because of not knowing.
Yeah.
And then the ability to take that risk. And now, you don't take that risk, and things are more tested, things are more developed, things are more planned. Because again, the manufacturers have bigger names, and so if they bring something out that hasn't been tested and it breaks, well, then they look bad. If they bring something out. And back in the day, the jumps weren't as big, the speed wasn't as much. So if the bike did break, there wouldn't be a consequence. Now, you could kill somebody.
Yeah,
you could kill somebody. So you have to be a little bit more careful that way. And
everything's designed on AutoCAD. It's all computer. Everything's computer generated. It's all TIG welded on a computer generated TIG welding device. It's all done.
Whatever you're saying.
Yeah,
whatever those words are.
Yeah, so it's all done in such a way it's scientific. So seeing Ducati come out with a bike, I think they are the ones that are bringing sexy back to dirt bikes.
Yeah. No, I mean the Honda to me, Honda's probably the sexiest bike of what's out there right now.
Okay.
It's a good looking bike. But Ducati's taken that and just putting a little different flair to it. I think it has a different sound to it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a Ducati.
Yeah, it's just cool. I mean, then the name Ducati.
Yeah.
It's like Ferrari, right? It's just it's cool.
They've got that bit of art going on there.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I also wanted to tell you that our good friends over at Feld Entertainment.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
Okay. Well, they happen to be the people that own Supercross.
Oh, they're the system.
They are the system.
Okay, got that. There was a system.
There was just a little bit of turbulence going on in the management over there, and I didn't know if you'd heard anything about that, where Kenneth Feld handed the reins over to his daughter.
Yeah, I heard somebody took it over. I just didn't know who. His daughter.
His daughter.
Yeah. I mean, if his daughter knows what the hell she's doing, if his daughter has a good business mind, if her daughter has the sport, the well-being of the sport in mind, then hell yeah, I could give two shits if it's a woman, if it's a man, if it's a black, if it's a white, I could care less.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you have the well-being of the sport in mind. And also the well-being of the riders in your mind. So maybe this woman will come in and actually have a little bit more compassion for the riders and give them more instead of trying to rape them all like the men do. Men want to rape everything.
Okay.
Absolutely rape everything. Mine. We're not going to give you shit. So hopefully this woman's like, you know what? I already have enough. How about we give a little bit more to these riders, and that makes the sport grow.
Interesting, because that was going to be the next question I was going to ask you, because you know that there has been a reduced attendance at the last few races of Supercross and at the beginning of Outdoor this season. This season hasn't really met any of the attendance expectations of Outdoor.
Well, yeah, I think it's a little bit that, the series maybe is a little bit too long, Supercross.
Okay.
So maybe people start losing the interest, of going to the races. Again, you can watch it on TV live. And the Nationals are just the Nationals. I think looked like Millville had a pretty big attendance.
Yeah.
It looked like it had pretty big attendance. But some other ones didn't look that big. And again, that's like we're talking. There's just so much to do now in life.
Yeah.
That it's not the only thing to do. Again, back in my day, the only thing to do in Redbud, Michigan was go to the race. But now you have social media, you have this, you have this, you have this. You have so much other shit to occupy your time that it's not the only thing to do. And so that's where you're going to see, fanfare, I guess, kind of go down. Okay. And I would imagine they're getting that in other avenues and other sports and stuff like that, Yeah, again, it's a money thing. It's there's quite a few things.
I'm seeing a lot of business stuff happen here, and the fact that you had Eli out for the first part of the season, you had Cooper not in Outdoor at all this season, and then now you have Ken jumping in for the last couple races of the season.
Yeah, Jet going away
and
too.
Jet going away
because everybody wants to see him ride.
Yeah.
And but again, it's just maybe some times and things like that. But I feel like I say, it's more maybe economy too. It's expensive to live in this world, man.
Yeah,
it's damn expensive to live in this world. Yeah,
super expensive.
Yeah.
And speaking of Jet, and speaking of the riders themselves, Chase Sexton's been really kind of stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, I mean he should step up because two of his competitors are kind of on, I guess both of his competitors with the same last name are kind of, one's out and one's struggling a little bit. Yeah. So if you don't step up, well then what's wrong? But that's also kind of a little Achilles heel. His he won the Supercross championship because Eli hurt his Achilles. Last year, Jet went 22-0. Yep. But now that Jet's gone, now he's winning. So. Yeah, it's not saying anything about Sexton. He's an amazing rider. I mean,
great rider.
I love watching him ride. Super nice guy. Takes his shit very serious. Probably I'd say one of the fittest guys, if not the fittest guys in motocross. So, just that last little bit is not coming out because of that pressure he's putting on himself to beat this guy. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes that pressure of wanting to beat that guy makes you override, and then maybe those where his mistakes, little mistakes and crashes are, or kind of puts you a little bit of handcuffs on you and makes you ride tight, tense a little bit, and that's where maybe Jet kind of pulls away from him towards the end of the races, or that because Jet always stays pretty loose. Right? Yeah,
I mean, whatever Jet's doing, there is some secret hot sauce in there somewhere because he is a machine on Outdoor.
Yeah, I mean, it's the approach, it's the technique. It's riding very smooth. It's feeling the track, it's feeling what fast is, not thinking how to go fast, because thinking shouldn't happen at their level. No, it's instinct, it's intuition, and it's initiation. They've done it so much that they don't even need to think about it, and they are such masters at it that they can make stuff happen before it even happens by putting their body in places, getting, the bike's doing something and they're doing something else. Again, there are three levels of learning. Conscious incompetency, I have to think about it because I don't know how to do it.
Yep.
Conscious competency, I have to think about it, but I kind of know how to do it. And then subconscious competency, I don't have to think about it because I know how to do it so well. Motocross, there's 4 levels, I think. One is reaction, and that's when someone's just learning how to ride. They're reacting to everything the motorcycle's doing. The second is instinct.
Okay.
Going, okay, now I kind of know where to put the motorcycle, and, they kind of have a little flow with it. The next one is intuition. Now they're starting to think ahead and plan ahead and put the bike here to get over to there, to take this line to get over to that. And the last one is initiation.
Okay.
Meaning that they're ahead of what's happening. The bike's kicking here, and I'm moving my body over there because I already know the bike's going to kick over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're just ahead of what's happening, and so that's how I break it down to, the kind of the road of becoming great on a motorcycle is through those kind of areas. Just like if learning something new, you got to go through that instinct and intuition part, of conscious incompetency. I have to think about it because I know how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about some of those lessons that you teach like that, as I used to watch Chase ride, and I thought a lot of times he was overriding the motorcycle.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, when I raced Jeremy, he was very smooth. Even Jeff, he was very smooth, very calculated.
Yep.
Not making little mistakes, not losing traction, all this stuff. And I kind of had the feeling that I had to ride harder to beat them. But then when I rode harder, there was those little mistakes. And now if you add up maybe 5 little mistakes on a lap, well, there's 3. That's a 300th of a second.
Yeah.
Half a second. Half a second is nothing, but it is something. You know what I'm saying? And so that overriding a little bit maybe causes a little bit more mistake, causes a little bit more fatigue, and then causes you to, have those little crashes. So Jeremy and Jeff, they rode very efficiently, smooth, this and that. And so my thought was, I had to ride faster to do that. Well, no, I maybe had to slow down a little bit and not slam the berm, not over jump something, hit that next gear. You know what I'm saying? Focus on traction, and then I would have been actually faster.
Slow down to speed up.
Well, because that's what I learned towards the end of my career was like to slow down to go faster, so to speak.
Yeah.
Slow up 3 feet coming in the corner to make 300 feet faster out of the corner. So my mechanic would always put, and I always put on the pit board, slow down. And people would be like, what do you tell him to slow down for? He's almost in the lead. And they would watch. And then my lap time would drop because I'd be like, yeah, okay. I can't slam that corner. I can't over jump that stuff. I can't go as hard as I'm capable of going into the corner because then I come to a pause, I come to a stop.
Cleaning up the mistakes.
Yeah, and just kind of having more flow, more constant momentum. Because that's how you go fast on a motorcycle, is constant momentum. It's not who's fastest from point A to point B. It's point A to point Z.
Yeah.
It's the whole damn track.
It's the whole process.
Yeah, so it's not everybody can go really fast in a corner, in a section, a straightaway, a jump. But can you put all those things together for a lap? And now can you put all those laps together for 35 minutes? That's the key. Constant momentum and consistency of that momentum.
It's definitely a talent, a skill, a trick. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a talent to be able to ride the motorcycle, like your, to your ability,
Yep.
and maybe your ability is more than the next guy. It's also just constant practice, and that's what's different about motocross is like you're constantly practicing it because it's such a feel. It's such a damn feel. It's more the rider than the motorcycle. Yes, the motorcycle has to be good, has to work good, has to, be tuned in perfectly. But it's not so much as Formula One or MotoGP. And you see that. You'll see somebody have a bad ride, a car, then they'll jump into a Mercedes or let's say a Ferrari or a Red Bull, and boom, they're instantly better results. Same in MotoGP. But in motocross, the bikes are, you can win on any bike. Any bike can win right now because they have all year. So it just shows that the rider is more involved than the motorcycle, right? Just because, again, you look at, Sexton compared to, let's say, Plessinger, or Jet compared to his brother at times.
Or even Ken Roczen on that Suzuki.
Yeah, or Ken Roczen, same thing. But I'm saying the same bike, but they're 15 places ahead, or they beat him by 30 seconds after they passed him.
Yeah.
So again, it's not the bike, it's the rider, and that's what motocross is more rider than bike or than machine. And so that's what's really cool about it, and that's why you have to keep riding through the week to have that feel, to have that confidence. You can't not.
Yeah. So that was one of the other things I wanted to bring up to you. And the other thing I wanted to bring up to you was I've seen a lot of people, I'm not going to name any names in particular, but I was thinking about something you said the other day about broadcasting and motocross, and how you weren't really necessarily, who is, like right now, if you had to say your favorite in motocross, who would you say your favorite was, outside of yourself, of course?
Like
just motocross commentator, broadcaster type. I have a favorite right now that I'm looking at and going, man, I wasn't anticipating. If you would have given me $1,000 in 1995, I couldn't have told you this guy would have been my favorite broadcaster in motocross. As a matter of fact, I kind of didn't like him.
I mean, I would have to say, I don't know. I'd say, I don't know.
The reason why I'm saying this is Bubba Stewart.
Yeah, I mean, Bubba's good just because Bubba has a little bit of a personality.
He's coming across with really good personality lately.
Yeah, he has
and
a good personality.
I didn't know if you followed any of that podcast.
Yeah, no,
he does.
I don't really follow his podcast at all.
Got it. Okay.
But he has personality. But I want to see someone that speaks to sport deeper.
Okay.
That can really pick it apart and be and share the sport the way that it should be shared, and that's like in a very technical, intelligent, deep philosophy way.
Yeah.
Because it's so different than any other sport.
Oh,
what I mean? And so I wish that these guys would dig into it a little deeper. I like his jokes and his stuff like that. That's cool and funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think that it needs to have a little bit more depth in it. We need to have almost more philosophy in it. Just because it is such a unique sport, it's its own animal. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing that I feel that's missing from it. But everybody has to do what they do to get the paycheck, and do what they do to not make the system, upset at them. So.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of it's chess with the motorcycle, with obviously the physical element of the rider, and they're all playing chess, and it's that level of thinking ahead, like you were mentioning earlier, where when you get to that level that they're at, they're not necessarily just, should we say, in intuitive reaction. They're planning ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is you gotta be present. You gotta be feeling, because you only can feel right now.
Yeah.
And so that's what motocross is, feeling where that motorcycle is on that track. So you have to be there.
Yeah.
But then you also have to be ahead by planning ahead, by knowing that I need to hit this berm to be over there to miss this bump so I can get enough momentum to hit that jump.
Yeah.
Right? So there's planning ahead, but then also being very present. So that's what it is. It's like your attention goes out, and then it comes to you. And then it goes out, and then it comes to you. And it goes out, and it comes to you. It's just like vision. If you ever pay attention about it, it's like your eyes go out to where I want to hit, what I don't want to hit. You see it, you bring it to you, then you look past it again to the next kind of part. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then the next part, and it's kind of like you're identifying something, bringing it to you, but then you're not staring at it till you hit it. You're identifying bringing it to you, but then you look past it, so then you don't prepare for it. Because if I bring it to me until I hit it, then I'm going to stiffen up. Right?
Got it.
But if I bring it to me to a point, then I look past it, well, then I'll be loose and go right through it. Okay? That's it's kind of the same thing. So you want to you're looking ahead, and you're bringing it to you, but then you're looking ahead again and bringing it to you and looking ahead again and bringing it to you, just like you're preparing and bringing that situation to you because you're preparing for it, and then you bring, you are very precise with what you want to do with that motorcycle.
Yeah.
You have that intention. Have an intention to everything you want to do on that motorcycle. So I'm preparing for this, but then my intention is to make sure that my body is in the right position to get what I want from what I just prepared for. If that makes sense.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's why I said it's like chess. You're constantly trying to plan ahead in so many moves, and
unless you don't know how to play chess, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'll put that one there, and I'll put that one there. So.
If you don't know how to play chess, then I guess my reference is a little off.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So all that being said, do you have any questions on Instagram right now?
I have a lot of waves. I don't know if I have any questions. Maybe someone will throw a question up. What you got? Come on, give me a question. One question, just one.
Oh, no question, por favor.
No question. No questions. They just want to watch. They just
like to watch you?
They just like to wave at me.
Okay.
They like to see, like this. Here we go.
That's a good thing.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm so damn good looking. They just want to look at me.
Wow. Well, good on you for that.
Fucking someone got to be.
Yeah, good on you for that.
Someone got to be.
I was born with a face for radio, so congratulations.
Yeah,
Television's friendly for you.
Yeah. A lot of makeup. A lot of makeup.
There's a little bit of that here and there.
Yeah. What's your favorite motocross section? The finish line.
That's every rider's favorite.
Nah, I like the sand. I like the sand whoops. I like rutted tracks. Outdoor tracks. I love hard pack.
Okay.
Like that blue groove shit. Just because I grew up on it. That was always good. I found enjoyment out of all types of sections on the track, except triples on a 125, and blind jumps, I guess.
Okay, so bringing back to that question that listener had right there.
Okay. Go ahead. I got you a fitness program outside of motocross. Do I have one? I do.
Okay, so back to that question, Supercross tracks and or outdoor motocross tracks, because I know when you were riding Supercross, the tracks were in transition. They were changing.
Yeah.
They were getting more and more and more aggressive. Walk us through, because the last time I walked a Supercross track, I was amazed that you could even take anything on that track.
So back in my day, so it came from the 80s and 90s, got really popular. And so there wasn't really much thought about consistency with the jumps and distance. So sometimes the triples were 60, sometimes 62, sometimes 58. Everything was peaked.
Okay.
They weren't really focused on how do we make riders safer. Now you'll see everything rounded. Everything's rounded.
Okay.
It's so much safer track-wise because everything's rounded. And, even whoops. Now there's only 8 whoops. We used to have fucking 20 or more. The whole damn stadium. They weren't thinking about that. Then
100 yards of whoops.
Then freestyle came in.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we could build this and make this. And so a little bit of test dummies of building just big ass shit and just having to do it. So now you look at the nationals, all the jumps are small, man. They're small. They're easy. And I applaud them for that because there's not many passes on big jumps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not many big passes on big jumps. So having these little bit safer jumps is good. Supercross having a little bit more safer, landings, transitions, 100%. 8 whoops, I don't agree with that at all. I do not agree with that shit at all. You know what I mean? I don't. Just make the whoops safer by making, right when you come out of a corner, boom, that first whoop should be there. So you can't pick up speed. You have to pick up speed through the whoops or right out of the corner, or your technique has to get through it. Not that you're coming into it with so much speed, because that's where those things get dangerous.
Yeah.
And then you could have a lot more, or have 8 and then a little gap and then 8 more or something, because that's where a lot of the time is gained and lost in Supercross is kind of the whoops. Were
you a whoop jumper or a blitzer?
I always blitz the shit out of them.
Okay.
Whoops were my strong point, my very strong point. But I was always a jumper too. Like I could triple in, I could double, I could wheel tap. And so that's the difference now is everybody thinks they have to blitz them. So when I start working with somebody, even Austin, I said, hey, we're going to make sure that we know how to get through whoops in 3 different ways. We're going to double whoops, we're going to triple whoops, we're going to wheel tap whoops, and we're going to skim them. So we would always do that at the end of our stuff. We're like, okay, we're going to work on, jumping through whoops and wheel tapping through whoops, not just skimming them, because there's times where you can't skim these. There's times where jumping is faster, but if you don't have that skill set, well, then you just limited yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just stupidity. That's just stupidity. And then all these guys that come into Supercross, like I've worked with so many younger guys coming into Supercross, and it's all about, if you're not skimming the whoops. I said, he's not fucking ready to skim the whoops yet. How about we double the whoops and triple the whoops and get the rest of the track down, and then when his confidence comes and his know-how comes, then he'll be able to skim the whoops. But if you get this kid going into Supercross right now trying to skim whoops and he's not ready for it and he crashes, he's going to start losing confidence in the whoops. And somebody that loses confidence in the whoops is going to struggle and have more crashes.
100%.
And then the rest of the track, he's focused on the whoops. So again, I don't tell people to skim the whoops at all in the beginning when I work with them when they're coming into Supercross. I go, well, that's the last thing we worry about is whoops. Let's master the rest of the track, not just this, 5-10 seconds of the track. And once you've mastered that, you'll start gaining this confidence, and then we'll start getting into skimming those whoops instead of going into it and hurting the kid on the first week.
Yeah.
That's where the sport's a little bit stupid, is because they're panicking and not thinking that it's a long run, not just a first base hit.
So last year at the beginning of the year in Supercross, there was a lot of complaints on the whoops, and they were saying that they were getting more and more aggressive, and then they started rolling them back a little bit.
Yeah, I guess they could be a little bit more, square edge, straight up and down.
Yeah.
And we had those things too, and we had two strokes, and but. Hate to see it, but you don't see Jet, Sexton, Eli. Those guys having really problems with them.
No.
So again, it's technique, it's confidence, and it's know-how. So the guys that are having problems with it are the kids that don't know how to go through them. And so if I was going to a Supercross and they were gnarly, and I was with a kid that wasn't as skilled, I said, do not skim them. Jump through them, wheel tap them, and then by second practice, third practice, fourth practice, they'll get beat down. They'll roll them again by the race time. They're going to be completely different. So make sure we get to the race. And the race, let's get to the race, so then we can get to the whoop, skim them, not trying to skim them first lap or first practice or anything. Put your ego back, and take your time through them, and then build yourself up. But the most people are having problems is that the first lap of practice, the first practice, all that they're gnarly. Of course they're going to be gnarly. They're brand new.
Yeah.
They're brand new. But the top guys don't have a problem, so that's just telling you something, that they're not too gnarly for everybody. They're just too gnarly for a certain level of rider, I guess, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I just noticed that was one of the points of contention they were bringing up. All right. Well, what else you got on the phone?
What is the future? Thoughts on the future of safety for riders hitting concrete and Supercross like Faulkner? I think the thing is with that is that we never really thought about it. We never really thought about it, that why in the fuck do you have concrete on the side of a rhythm section?
Yeah.
Why? And so what do we do? Do we put dirt there? No, we don't put dirt there. Maybe do we put like a
tough block?
soft padding, like just a thin one? Because you can't have something that's going to make people stick. But if it's never tested and tried, then we're not advancing, we're not progressing. And then if someone does get killed from landing on this thing, then it's shame on you.
Yeah.
Then it's fucking shame on you. You know what I'm saying? If nothing's ever tested and tried, and since something does happen, then shame on you. Right?
Yeah.
And that's it. If something's tested and tried and you can't come up with something, then hey man, we put our 2 cents in and we tried our hardest. But you gotta do something,
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Next question on the phone there.
I don't know. Next question. Anybody have a question? Let's see.
Not
really pay attention. These guys been on the radio.
A lot of waves.
On the radio.
Well, I don't want to ignore. I don't want to ignore the audience. If they're participating via the phone, we can look over at the phone there.
I got you, the man. Well, you the man there, Phil Warner. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a good question for you.
Got your question. Okay, ask the question.
As far as when riders are at the track and they're in their cool down, we all see on the television, we all see them grabbing a Red Bull.
Jason Pike.
Oh.
Holy shit. That's the Jason Pike I know. I grew up with that guy.
Wow.
Yeah, grew up with him. Hope you're well.
We all see them drinking like an
That
energy
wink
drink.
made me moist. Yeah, baby. I don't know. Hopefully, yeah.
We all see them
Take
drinking
that.
like an energy drink or something
Yeah.
at the very end. Obviously, that's a sponsor thing.
Yeah.
In those energy drinks, because we don't have anybody to account to, is that just water in there?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
water. It's just
Okay.
water. They're not drinking energy drink. I doubt there's a one that drinks energy drinks even through the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know who drinks energy drinks. People still drink energy drinks?
I'm just thinking, like, how can you drink
I
one
mean,
of
but I
those?
mean, the thing, like, really, do people drink energy drinks? I mean, that's like after knowing what's in there, knowing what they do to you, know the diabetes, knowing all this stuff, and you're still gonna drink these things.
True.
That's kind of like shame on you. And I got sick. Well, I don't really feel sorry for you, man. Oh, I got diabetes. I don't really feel sorry for you.
yeah.
You know, I'm not one of those guys that feels sorry for people when the information and news and all this stuff is right there in front of your fucking face, and you just continue to ignore it and then go, oh, this happened to me. That's
True.
again, just like motocross. You know, you get hurt. I don't really have too much sympathy for people. I do, but I don't, just because you picked a sport.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen.
I'm a big
You know,
ice-
I mean, I don't care for how brutal it truly is, and that kind of is becoming a little bit of a turnoff to me, just because I don't like to, you know, I don't want to see people get hurt. I'm sick of seeing it, and it's just
Yeah.
like, so that's a little bit of a turnoff. But I'm just not that person that has this. I got to feel sorry for you all the time when the news or the information straight in your face and you just ignore it.
True.
Right? You know,
True.
oh, I can't lose this weight. Oh, I got my belly. Well, look at the fuck. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You know, you shouldn't complain about it. You should be looking at yourself in the mirror and going, man, I kind of suck.
Put down the cheeseburger.
Yeah, I kind of suck as being a human being, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not doing myself justice.
I don't do sugar myself. I'm a big iced tea guy. But
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, everybody has their thing. I don't.
You do
for me,
water?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have. There's not anything food-wise, anything that way that I have any sort of need for, like addiction or not addiction, but like craving for.
Yeah.
There's nothing I crave in that. And actually, there's really nothing I crave in life. You know, I've kind of got through all those cravings and stuff. So food-wise, drink-wise, fun-wise, you know, substance-wise.
You mastered it.
Sex-wise, I wouldn't say I mastered it, but just, yeah, there's nothing I chase after or crave, and it's that's a really good feeling is when you can get to that point where nothing owns you. Yes, do I like good food? Yes. Do I like good sweet? Yes. Do I like, you know, some fun times at night? Yes. Do I like, you know, some good sex? Of course. But it doesn't own me. Nothing owns me. And that's such a good feeling to not feel like you have to have it. Right?
Yep.
When something you have to have, you know, that's not a good feeling.
No, then you're a
No.
slave to it.
When you want it because you want it,
Oh, that's a different
a
story.
little different story. You
Yeah.
know? So.
But when you think you have to have it, you're a slave to it. Guess what? You've just smoked through the entire hour.
Smoked through it.
We've done another exciting show, and you will be back next week
Yep.
with another exciting show.
Yep.
Give the audience your number once again.
You want my number?
Well,
you guys
yeah,
wanna call me?
I mean,
you
you're
got
not-
any, you got any chicas on there?
the
Got
number-
some chicas over here?
The number that they can get in
Okay,
touch
you can
with
call me on my radio station at 866-492-4449, Big 49 Radio, iHeartRadio, or big49.com, and you can listen up, ask questions, and all that shit.
Sweet.
Perfect.
And because somebody mentioned earlier about Led Zeppelin, I think we're going to go
We'll
out.
do a little Ed Led Zeppelin.
We're going to
Okay?
play the ID, and then we're going to jump into Led Zeppelin, and
Okay.
then we will see you all next week.
We'll see you all next week and see y'all that's listening on the radio. Thank you for all you guys, and let's keep doing this shit.
You're listening to Big 49.